Hello and welcome to the final episode of Campaign 1 of AntipoDnD, a show in which a bunch of Australians play Dungeons and Dragons in a setting partly inspired by prehistoric Australia and New Zealand. I am David, I'm the Dungeon Master. My players are Zindy, Doug, Kynwin and April. And last session, when we left our players, they had just taken part in a soul war, for want of a better term. They had been asked by Dasha and Drake to disperse the soul legions, these manifestations of essentially dead mob rule, is the only way I can think of explaining it. And they were successful in doing so, and the session ended with these huge kaiju-sized spiritual projections of our players wailing on the last of these soul legions, and succeeding in dispersing these things and saving the lost souls being held within the wards of common ground. Now, a couple of days have passed, and each of you are going about your business when at one point, when the four of you are in common ground, Desmina will catch your attention, find you, I assume, in the kitchen or somewhere like that.
Generally.
And she will walk up to you, and you can see that Connie is behind her, and she looks very excited about something. And Desmina is going to say, friends, I have the honor of inviting you to... She looks at Connie, and Connie nods enthusiastically, and Desmina says, to a party.
I love parties.
Ooh, what? A soiree.
She says...
I could go a party.
Bless you.
Desmina says, so last night, while you slept, we opened the plane of repose and lowered the wards.
An afterlife party. I love that.
And
Ghost party.
we have confirmation that it has worked. Souls of the lost are slowly traveling to the plane of repose. And our plans have succeeded, and so we are having a party to celebrate. And we're going to be doing it in our sanctuary. The four of you are welcome. The four of you are invited. Of course, I'm pretty sure I couldn't keep this one away. She looks at Connie, who gives you all the thumbs up, and Desmina says, I've also been encouraged to ask all of you to think about guests you could bring along. You're not necessarily limited to just one each, but please keep it manageable. Don't invite more people than we can fit into the sanctuary.
Is there an hard limit for how many people before the bottom drops out?
She says, I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. But let me put it this way. We will be holding you responsible for them.
That's fair.
Right.
Is it going to be weird for people to suddenly be spirited away to a god dimension?
She says, and do tell them. Do invite them and make sure they want to go in advance. We're not just telling you to kidnap people and bring them to a party.
Might be fun, though.
You should definitely kidnap
I
Cass.
was not implying that, but absolutely.
It'd be funny.
I can get a right laugh out of it.
She says, well, the party will be this evening, our time. So
This evening?
This evening, yes.
Oh, God.
If you can't invite somebody in person, you're welcome to message them, and one of us might be able to bring them via our own means. But otherwise, if the four of you could please meet me here after sundown with any guests that you'd like to bring, we will proceed from there.
Works for us.
Or see, you're going to have time to invite guests in between doing your hair?
No, he can
I
do,
was-
he
I
can
need
do
to
one of
put
them
it-
messages while he's doing his hair.
Good point.
I've got to do outfits. What am I going to wear?
Dismina
Fuck.
says, I assure you, the gods will not be dressing up for the occasion. You will...
That's especially why Orsie's dressed up.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, if you think I'm wearing anything to impress any gods, you've got it all wrong.
Is it?
It's more to kick their asses, but with
Well.
clothes. It's an elf thing.
I need to go and prepare some things, make sure that there are enough people to watch the orphanage and so forth while we are all gone. So please excuse me.
Dagmar is going to change her outfit into like an amazing black silk blouse just in front of Orsi for fun.
The
No, it looks
shimmery,
really good
the
on you,
shimmery
please.
little black dress, but on a dwarf. I love that.
Yeah, kind of like a jumpsuit.
Oh, like a proper romper.
Yeah,
I
she wanted
will draw
a
this for
party
you.
romper.
Yeah.
I will draw the party romper for you.
Connie signs, what should I wear?
What have you got?
Oh.
Are we going shopping?
Show us the options.
I think shopping is probably on the menu.
I think we
can
might
take
have to go
shopping.
shopping. We should go
Aussie
shopping.
might
Let's take her
explode.
shopping.
Yeah, no, I need clothes.
Cool.
Let's get some shoes.
Dagmar and Orsi will take care of Connie's outfit
We got
for
it.
the evening.
Okay.
Any amount of gold.
How do you dress up this teenage tiefling?
Does the teenage tiefling like rompers?
She got-
I do not
She
know
got
what that is.
preferences.
A romper is
Like
like,
a jumpsuit, but short pants.
So the 70s,
like-
right? The disco
Yeah.
flares, but it's
Okay.
a single piece thing.
Yeah.
Like if
She-
you go to the
It's like
bathroom,
overalls,
you got to
but
peel everything off.
fancy.
You are naked.
Yeah.
You are going to the
Mm.
bathroom.
You
Let me find a
normally
picture of a romper.
see her in sort of fairly simple sort of peasants skirts and dresses
I imagine
and
it-
so forth.
Pretty cottagecore, gotta say.
She's
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
kid. Oh, well, she's a teenager, so let's put her in a nice
Yeah.
jumpsuit, full length
Mm-hmm.
jumpsuit. We'll have
Sequins.
cute little frilly sleeves.
Frilly sleeves.
sequins.
We do the horns
Yeah.
up with glitter, whatever the D&D equivalent of body glitter is, like the
Ornaments.
Britney.
Yeah,
Ornaments.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ornaments. We're doing
yeah. We're
ornaments.
gonna put like little flowers in
Love
there
that.
as well. We'll do jewels. We'll do flowers. We'll dress her up real nice.
Mm.
However much gold, it doesn't matter.
Now,
Yeah.
next question: who are you inviting?
Who are we inviting?
Morzod would like to bring Zerasa.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's fun.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
Yeah,
So he might actually wander up to the academy and see if he can find her.
cool.
Them.
You will eventually find Zerasa, and they will say, "Oh, hello."
Hey, Zerasa, how's it going? Haven't had a talk in a while.
No, I have been quite busy here. I gather you have been busy too.
Oh, we've been very busy, very busy. Saw that platform you made? Looks fantastic. You should have seen Orsie's
Oh my
face.
God.
He's absolutely in
Oh.
love with that thing.
And
I
there-
love that floating circle.
there's a pause, and Zerasa
Orsi is
says,
also there.
we'll say Orsi is also there, and Zerasa says to Orsi, I was about to apologize for that. I don't understand.
No, he's always wanted a big flying thing that he can stand on, and so you've absolutely just granted all of his wishes.
Oh,
You quite literally made my dreams come true. I came
Oh.
here to see someone else. I can be on my way, but thank you very much.
how fortunate. I tried to tell Izard that such a step in development was unnecessary. If we were to make a prototype airship, it should be something that is practical and serviceable. I saw no need for a giant hovering disc, but he insisted.
Oh, just wait. You see what Orsie's got in mind for that thing.
Oh, I'm
Very
glad.
excited.
I'm glad to see it was not a waste.
It's going to be pretty
Oh,
good.
nothing
Hey,
you do is a
Zerasa.
waste of arousal.
Zerasa, we're going to a party. Do you want to see where the gods hang out?
There's a very long pause as you think you can almost see gears working inside Zeras's shell.
I was going to say, is that racist? Has she got gears?
And eventually Zerasa says, yes, I would like that very much.
Excellent. Well, look, it's going to be this evening, and Aussie is going to get everyone dressed up. I don't know if you really want to get fancy. They told us we don't need to get fancy, but if you want to, you can.
Zerasa says, I do not wear clothes.
Yeah, I know. But, like, if you wanted to put stuff like decorate yourself, do people do that?
That seems...
It's okay. You don't gotta.
Good, I will not. But I look forward to the party.
Hey, got no idea what it's going to turn out like, but I thought, gee, knows your ass would probably want to come along. There you go. All right. Have you seen these, Ed?
That's where Aussie's headed towards.
Cool.
Yeah, Mozart pretty much figured, but, like, you know.
And Izard will greet you and say, so, I've heard something about... I gather there's been a shift in the spiritual state of the world. I don't suppose you know anything about that?
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to see it. Nobody did, actually.
No. Yeah, no, we had a whole thing, didn't we, Morzord?
Yeah,
No,
it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Listen, I'll tell you what. We probably would have knocked over half the city if it had actually been real. But it's all
Physical.
right. Yeah,
There's-
physical. Yeah.
I think
And
I need you to tell me what happened.
Morzod goes into storytelling mode.
Okay, cool.
So picture
Go for it.
this: we got back to the town, and there was all right. So Vinny, right? He has seen some shit, and there was all these. Sorry, there was all right. So lost souls, right? Because people are dead. There's been a whole bunch of them wandering around, and there's also dickhead lost souls, who was like, you know, as you can imagine, like nasty looking black things that were like gribbly and eating stuff, and we didn't know because we couldn't see them. Vinny saw him, and he didn't tell us, dickhead.
typical. Sorry, Morzod. Isa, did you know that souls haven't been able to cross over to the celestial plane? Did you know that all the gods were chased here by a giant devourer that now just lives in the celestial plane?
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm telling the story.
No, fine. I just wanted to gather how much he knew.
So we've got all these lost souls, but then these guys are eating them, and it's not a good thing because they're getting really huge because they've been eating lots of souls. And so when we got back to here after flogging the pirates, we found out that there was like really, really big ones. Like they was 3 times taller than all the buildings. They was big.
Real big.
Yeah.
Huge.
And that was a problem, but you guys didn't mind because you couldn't see them. But they was there, and it was a bad thing in general. But we figured out how to get up there with them, with like soul dreaming shit. Like I wasn't paying a great deal of attention. They just said we was going to be real big, and I was like, yeah, let's go. But so these big nasty things were there, and we went to fight the big nasty things, and we beat them. It's great. So everyone's safe, and the afterlife works now. So that's what's going on.
And we'd like to invite you to a party in the realm of the gods.
Yeah, to celebrate that the afterlife's okay.
I'm going to need persuasion skills. Persuasion from Morzod with advantage because
Persuasion skills.
He's not even drunk.
Persuasion from Morzod with advantage because Orsi is helping.
Thanks for the air
Okay,
quote.
let me just D&D is gonna do the thing. Persuasion with advantage.
Hit that bad boy, not 20, baby.
roll that thing. 21, flaccid.
Okay,
Ooh,
that is
that's
good.
Great.
I've got a +10. It didn't want to be good.
All right. Izard is going to say, So everything, much of what you just told me, philosophers across the world would crawl over each other's bodies to talk to you about what you have experienced. Do you
Sounds
know
like a
how
party.
much speculation and argument and debate there has been over what happens to souls, or what has been happening to souls since the cataclysm? What happened to souls during the silence of the gods? Are people going to the afterlife again since the gods woke up? And you have all the answers.
They wasn't, but they is now. Look, I could tell them, but I don't think they believe me. I mean, you're a good story, son. You know I'm telling the truth, but like,
He says,
I'm not going to tell them because I want them to come to me in my tower and have to get the information out of me by doing me favors.
he says, I can definitely see why the gods didn't want this to be known, at least until they'd sorted something out. That makes a lot of sense. But hang on, a party in the realm of the gods?
Yeah. I got like a sanctuary.
at
We have
least
to
casual.
do
You don't got to dress
sanctuary.
up too fancy. Ozzy's going to dress up, but
You should
Giraffe is not going to
absolutely
wear
dress up
anything.
as a bride.
He says,
Best robes.
How could I refuse? Can I bring someone?
Absolutely.
I mean, I suppose we've been getting the
Yes.
plus ones, but the plus one can have a plus one. I just said we're responsible for them.
Yes, you can. Yes. Just don't blow
It's-
the place up and it'll be fine.
Don't
It's
let
okay.
your boring dragon boyfriend just let any dragons in.
He says,
I can say that because she's not there.
Right.
We're just listening in on the eye stones.
On the ice stone.
On the
yeah.
ice base,
She's
yeah.
just crying
ground.
from home.
hmm
he says, I promise he will be on his best behavior.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Who else are you inviting?
Um,
Well, I've just gone and invited Girasa, as I said. She's not wearing anything, so like you know.
This is David asking.
Oh, right.
Dagmar will extend an invite to no one, whose name I always forget, the real one.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, I forget.
He's going through a divorce. He needs time
And friends
and
Yeah.
parties and friends.
and margaritas.
And yeah,
And
he's partying with
margaritas.
some goddesses.
Speaking of margaritas, is
Yes.
Danger X? I mean, she's sort of invited anyway because she's a god.
Oh, Engadon.
Yeah.
You understand that all of the gods are invited, at least.
At least
or expected
nominally.
to be.
Mm.
They're probably not Ashruth.
Yes, no,
Yeah,
no
he's a
longer part of the pantheon,
Aw.
so that's
Yeah,
fine.
he's
Aw.
absolutely
You
shunned.
can come if. Can I make him my plus one? It's probably a bad
Did he-
look.
Did he
I think
know?
it'd be fun. That'd be a fun way to just ruin everything
mean,
and get a
that-
nice map on the end of the.
I was going to say, you
do.
got hexes for the realm of the gods? Because
Yeah.
You will remember
I can hear
that,
everybody in their
Don't
eye stones
answer
just
that.
being like, "Vatericus, no!"
remember that violence is forbidden in the sanctuary.
Oh, that's true.
Not just forbidden, but you get the impression from the way they talk about it that if you try to be violent, it'll end badly for you.
It's like super forbidden.
Um,
But you just get kick banned. It's like IRC.
no one's real name is
Yeah.
Sargash.
Sagash. I'm positive that
Sagash.
Dagmar exclusively refers to him as no one.
Okay. This will
Or
please.
no-
Oh,
nobody.
Connie's gonna be so happy he's
This
there.
will
Connie loves
please
no
Connie.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's her
Um,
favorite.
Oh man, that's gonna be like The Rock rolling up to a party and Connie.
I
happens
love
to
it,
be
'cause
there.
This is a real LA.
He's just a
yeah.
man with a day job. This is just like he's a brickie.
Yeah.
So
So-
good, so good.
Who else? You get more than +1 each.
Mm.
This is basically just gather your friends. For
Ozzy
a
has a
party.
list.
NPC
So
very
Like,
please, anyone who
Dagmar's
has
friends are already
than
in
scroll.
the room.
I've only got two. Viddy's going to walk down to the docks, find Captain Swift, and say, "Hey,
She'll say, "Hey, you going to the party?"
oh, you are. You did get an invite. I was
Yes.
worried that he hadn't actually asked you."
No. Well, he didn't, but yes, I did get an invite.
Of course. Excellent. Good. Well, I will see you there.
Yes, I will see him there.
That'll be fun. Excellent. Well, I will leave then and wander over to the Fey Garden and stick my head in.
Yo!
I assume there's like a front office with a reception desk or whatever.
It's basically an embassy.
Yep, cool. So I'll walk into the embassy and basically just lead my head in through the front door and go, "Hey, Trev here?" No context, just straight away. Is Trevor
I feel
out?
like Trev would
I'll
get
say,
that a lot.
yeah, why not? Trevor will be in. Well, not in the embassy, but Trevor will be near the embassy.
Oh,
they'll
I
point
want
you-
him to have a little tie and like a little
Yeah.
name tag.
He doesn't. He's not a huge
He has a
fan of
cubicle.
being. He's not a huge fan of being indoors.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Valid.
I was a cassowary.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll
If I
find him
was a
outside then.
cassowary, I would take control of the earth.
But yeah,
And
that's
I'd kick people. Yeah.
yeah, kick people.
and,
until they-
yeah, Trevor will say, "Oh, hey, mate, how you doing?"
Well, thank you, Trev. Well, hey, what are you doing tonight? Have you got space for a party?
Yeah. Oh, always.
Great. There's going to be a plane shift involved, so be prepared for some discomfort there.
Oh, are we heading back to what's it called, Sanctuary?
Yes.
He says, "Oh, cool. There's good food there last time. All right, yeah, we'll do it."
was. Excellent. I will add you to the list then.
Rock on.
You might remember he was a guest of Nessa
Yeah,
Clayfie
he was up there
Indeed,
doing
yes,
Clayface.
at the
indeed.
signing of the new
Because
Accords.
bird.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool bird. Yeah.
Because bird. Have we asked Nessa Clady if she knows where his kids are? Does she have detect bird?
She might. No, you've not asked her.
Why do we do that?
We can ask her at the party.
yeah.
We can do that at the party.
Like,
yeah.
hey, we've looked everywhere and we haven't noticed Trev's kids. Like, we even went across to the fucking uncharted lands to see if they was over there.
I
No
mean,
one,
not
yeah,
specifically
so-
for that reason, but we did
Hey, we-
check.
We
We
were
did-
checking.
Yeah.
We legitimately checked.
We were
It's
in
not
the
a lie.
area and we checked for
Happens.
cassowaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we found parrots.
Just as much as anyone can expect of us, honestly.
It's true.
we
All
right, cool.
Yeah, we'll
That's
check
it.
and see
They're
if
the
she's
they're the two on Viddy's list. Except for no, never mind. That's it. Viddy's done.
I want to know who you were thinking of.
Viddy looks around to see if any sulky
Oh, yeah.
drows are.
See any
him,
I
I mean,
wasn't
what
actually
is this
thinking
drow
Drow.
around?
You
I was
could
thinking
do. You
our
could
friend
send
who
to
quit
him.
being a priest to go and hang out with
Oh,
Nessa
that
Clayton.
guy.
Well, he's probably already invited by Nessa Clevy
Yeah,
Well,
right.
because
Maybe.
he's legit been hanging out in her house.
Yep, you don't know where he is, so you'd have to get a message to him.
Oh, yeah.
What about the butler from Heron's Perch?
Oh,
Well,
the
he has like a
butler.
list of people.
Mm.
You know.
All right. Well, that's it. So who else is on Aussie's list?
Obviously invited to Cassiar. He's my main +1.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then I honestly wouldn't inviting my dad. This is kind of like a really good diplomatic mission for my family. So, get the Lixabor name out there. So daddy's on the list. And then I want to invite Salmi because I really like her. She's fun. Who else do I like? Who else do we like?
Oh, Sabi.
I thought
We
my
should
list was
invite
longer than
Sabi
that.
as well.
Sabi, obviously. Rexlin, maybe.
We just inviting everyone we've ever met.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely NPC victory.
Well,
lap. You
yeah,
can
but,
remember their names.
Rexlin was
It's a
helping me do strength training and
party.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The ghost of
Yeah.
Pavat while we're at it.
Can we not?
Yeah.
Can we invite the ghost? Well, he might be there.
If he's there,
double
then this is
obliterated
going to
that
be
guy.
a bad heaven.
Hang on. I'm looking. I have to go up a bit because it was a while ago.
Yeah, Aussie checking all his notes.
Who have I
Yes.
heard of or met?
Oh, I want to... Pala. I want to invite Pala. Because I have an invite from the gods and he doesn't.
Okay, remind me who Pala
Oh,
was.
He's the young elf.
He's
the one
stroppy
who's...
elf from
Oh,
Tyler
he's the
Dale.
dickhead
Not
from
Tyler
when we
Dale.
went over to
From
the
Wither-
place that had the
Witherdrin.
floating island.
Yes.
There was
Yeah,
the
okay.
old elf,
Witherdrin.
there was the old elf, the
Yeah.
middle elf, and the dickhead elf.
We should invite the old elf
In a
too. She's
row.
Great.
Oh, she'd
Chrysalis,
love
yeah.
that shit.
Yeah. I want to invite. Inarel was the younger female elf. Chrysalis was the older female
Definitely
elf, and
need to
then
take her.
Ella was the young gent.
We've had her in the Owlery for margaritas. We absolutely need to
Oh my
invite her
God.
to the gods.
We have to invite Ornella. Yeah. There's going to be so many birds there.
That's true. I mean, Aronal was already hanging out with not necessarily the other one.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
of these people are
Oh, good,
already
good,
friends
good, good.
with gods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mostly.
Orenala is Avatar of Val. So
Yeah.
good
If she
chance
hasn't
she'll
been
be
invited, there'll be something
My
wrong.
God.
Yeah.
Should we? No, I don't want to invite her. Actually, never mind.
Oh, what about
I
that
was gonna be
random
like-
fucking vampire queen? Should we bring her?
I was literally going to say, are we inviting the princess? But I
No,
feel like
no,
that
we are
may be a
not.
stretch.
What about that
We
one
could.
lizard folk that you bumped into that one time? You know, with the butcher's bib.
Yeah, he sounded like fun.
He seemed like a good hang.
Oh my
There are some
gosh.
cats on some wanted posters. They look fun.
Yeah, let's pick
I
that.
do
Those two
Um,
just randomly, yeah.
I mean, I'm very partial to a wanted poster, as we all know.
For the NPC victory lap, I was actually thinking of that chick from Bunnings that you made friends with, Conlon.
No,
That was the Bunnings
What
and
was it?
Heron's Perch. She's very far away.
It's true, but like
we can
so
get
is
the gods
Cass,
to
like-
anyone. They said they can.
But I guess you weren't really besties with her, but you did have a really nice time.
Great chat. We did have two great
Oh.
chats several months ago, and I think it would frankly be weird if I
Yeah, it
yoinked
probably-
her into the afterlife.
It probably would be quite weird.
She might start to think that you
What
are
if we
stalking her.
did?
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
if we
she's,
did?
she's a customer service worker. She has a lot of
I
great
mean, you
chats.
guys got along though, because you showed her the carvings. She was like, "Shit, a dwarf doing the carvings! This is so great."
What are we doing for
Yeah.
drinks? Do we want to bring in Baldrin as like catering?
Love to bring in
Yes.
Baldrin.
Okay, when I
Love to
said,
bring in
Yes.
if you
Baldrin.
can remember the NPC's name we're inviting them, I was thinking Baldrin. We could invite that Minotaur that we met right back at the start and be like, "Hey, you want
We
some
could invite the
stories? Check it
Minotaur.
out, bruh."
Yes, Inkaros
we could
the
invite-
Wanderer.
Who is the pirate boss lady of Opportunity?
Quinala, Captain Quinn.
Oh,
Quinala. Should we invite her, or is that weird?
I feel like a lot
Oh,
of this
will,
is
will
weird.
her dead
What is
crew be
weird?
there? Is that
That's
fucked up?
Yeah, that's
is that fucked up?
kind of awkward.
yeah. Should we
kinda awkward.
consider the ramifications of inviting a bunch of people to the literal afterlife for a party?
Yeah.
Will that be
No,
good for
because
them,
it's
or will
not
that
the
be weird
afterlife.
for
It's the
them?
god sanctuary. It's different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
not
like the front
actually
porch of the afterlife.
But
It's
we
fine.
are celebrating
That's
that the
right.
afterlife is okay now. So, like, yeah.
Do you think it will be
Oh, I'm-
confronting for them to know that the afterlife wasn't okay previously?
They're gonna have to confront it at some point.
It's fine. It's
You
just
know.
fine now. What's there to worry about?
Better with a mojito in the hand.
Yeah.
I'm going to invite my auntie and uncle.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
They've
Auntie
got
and uncle
yeah,
on the list.
absolutely. Morso's going to take Barry, by the way. He's going to be wearing him like a boa,
That's a great idea.
but he's a lizard.
I have a bunch of like cousins and stuff.
Don't
we can
invite
leave
your
it as that.
fucking cousins.
It's fine. I'm just saying. Mm.
Vitargus
Crassus?
is going to write an invite to 11 Violet Knights,
Ew.
inviting him to the party of the century, and he's going to give 10 gold to one of the orphans to give it to him tomorrow morning.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Oh, all right.
Now,
So mean.
you're welcome to come up with more people to invite, but at some point during the day when you give, a list of names to Desmina, she will sort of ask for descriptions of a few of them and where they might be. And then later in the afternoon, Val, the goddess of wilds and nature, will teleport into common ground.
Wow.
And
Oh,
she
is she
will.
catching the bus from here?
Well, she will
Are we carpooling?
ask to speak to the four of you.
Oh,
What do we do?
that's fine.
So she.
Vitargus has gotten so used to this being like a warded space that he immediately reaches for the Taraka deck as soon as like the teleport ding kicks in. No, we're all good. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, it's okay. Put your cards away.
In Atolia, if you see someone prism tattooing in, it's like a beam of light shoots into the room and everyone scatters. Be one of those. We just see this beam of light coming in and just all dodge for cover.
So she will basically gather the four of you and say, I have sad news about one of the people you invited.
Which one?
Oh.
So, the one you called Enkeros the Roma, the Minotaur.
Oh, Enkeros, what happened?
I'm afraid I found his corpse, and
Oh.
Did he go well?
he says, well,
Is it the red weed?
here's the
Found and corpse are never great words.
Orinala and I went to the Druid Grove of Sancta to see whether Ashruith had wrought any chaos there. To find that he had gone through, seemingly meaning to slaughter everyone there, but failing. But the druids who had been there, sensing his coming, disguised themselves as animals, and Ashruith defiled a stone that they used to control their shape-shifting, and they were stuck in this form until I finally arrived and released them from it. But during this time, when there was no one there to greet them, Enkeros the Roma arrived, the final leg of his journey, from what I can tell. And from what I can tell, he was old and died there.
Yeah.
But there's an issue. He left a ghost, not just a lost soul, but he has unfinished business, and I think I know what it is. The problem is, I'm not a poet.
Oh.
So,
Oh,
well, we
everyone
know
looking
poet,
for
don't we?
Targus.
Yeah.
Oh, does he want someone to write his stories?
so she brings to you a physical copy of Enkeros's journal, which he's been recording his journey, telling it, recording his story, the final thing, the final thoughts of this Minotaur who knows does not have much longer for the world, and wanted to see as much of the world and describe it as possible. And on the final page, there's a poem, and she explains that she found this on his bones, under a tree, a large tree at Sancta. And I will read this out, and then I will copy it into chat for you. So the poem says, "'Twas more than a road, this path I trod, to cross Valdra fair. A road's just a destination, a course from here to there. I went by foot, I went by boat, by carriage, beast, and litter. One day I'd saw another glide, the next I'd crawl, then skitter. I chose my transport by what was there, my course by where it took me. I fixed my mind on where I was, and not on where I could be. So when in Sancta I found nowhere else to go, I sat beneath a shady tree, and chose to call it home. Some would say my life was short, that I should blame or hate the gods who gave me so few years before I found my fate. But," and it trails off, as he never got to write the final verse to his poem.
Oh.
Shit, well, Viddy, you better go ask him.
Not a terrible idea.
But
Maybe you could write it yourself for Targus.
I could.
she says, yeah, and Val says, I don't know whether he died as he was writing the final verse, or whether he didn't know what to write, but I feel
Intended it that way.
like this might be his unfinished business.
I was no good at poems.
I will take the notebook,
You only do.
which is
Yeah.
presumably being offered at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Just tugging it out of her hands.
Yeah.
just let me have a little. Okay.
Yeah. Accidentally rips it in half. Like, well, Cursed to wander forever.
Uh,
No, I will. I will
Minding.
take it with a certain amount of reverence and say, well, either I'll speak to him and we'll finish it, or I will finish it and hope that that is enough for him. Ghost is down over at Sancta, you said?
She says, yes, I could take you there if you like.
Here, have you got time before the party for that?
I was just thinking that. Do we have time now, or is it a tomorrow job?
You still got 3 or 4 hours to go.
I mean, Ozzy's busy.
I feel like I can. Yeah, I
Don't
mean,
get
also
dirty.
sending messages to everyone.
Don't get dirty. If you get dirty, I'll be so angry at you.
Patericus will change the glamour on his. I assume he's already in his party outfit, so there's just like a smudge of dirt on like his white shirt. Not a big one, just like a small bit.
You know,
16.
part of me is like, I'm really going to miss you when you're gone. But then the other part of me is just like, fucking finally.
It's a knife's edge that I walk with all my friends
Hmm.
as I like
Off you
disappear
go,
and
if you're gonna
teleport
do it.
off. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll do this quickly. I wasn't expecting, I wasn't sure whether this would come up. So yeah, you are immediately teleported over to Sancta, the Druid Grove that you never visited in your travels, but had quests associated with it had you
But
ever
it
arrived.
exists.
Yeah, but there was stuff happening.
Yeah,
Campaign
and
2.
Stuff was happening the whole time, and I really appreciate that about all of this, honestly.
and you are led to the grave, the final resting place of Enkaros the Roma. At the moment, you do not see a ghost.
Okay, I will start reciting his poem at sort of where he lies to see if that draws him to us.
did they just leave the skeleton there? Is it just?
No, it
Fucked up.
Have they built him like a can or something?
Yeah, it's a
Like a
can.
burial mound?
It's very simple but respectful.
Lovely.
As you finish, you'll hear the Minotaur's voice say, "But how does it end?"
Tell you what, leave it with me, and I'll come back one day and tell you.
He says, "But how does it end?"
Wonderful. I will nod to Val to sort of take me back, and yes, give it some thought.
Cool.
Because I don't think Vatericus is just going to finish with some random limerick that
Yeah.
he comes up with off,
Not on the spot. No.
at the can of
Aw.
someone who he swapped stories with one time.
There was
Yeah.
a minotaur from Keldrith.
You think, actually, with your passive insight, I'll say, you think it's not just that he couldn't find the words, it's that he had a hard time finding the sentiment. The idea that, why shouldn't he be angry that his life was so short? He had a hard time actually coming up with an answer for that. And the fact that he was still stuck with that when he died is haunting him and therefore you now.
So I assume I teleport back to common ground.
Yep.
Having sort of hit that up. Does Inkaris follow me at this point? Like, am I getting the bit, how does it end refrain in my head now?
No.
Okay, cool.
You think
So
he
sort of hanging
is
out
tied
over
to
there.
his bones.
Cool. Good. Gives me a bit of time then to think about it with that. Thank you.
And if you don't think
are
of something, then you can really easily avoid that one haunted spot. Never go to it again.
Yeah. That's a problem
Yeah, I
for
just can never go to Sancta.
I mean, were you going back there anyway?
Maybe.
We're not really tree people.
No, but I do have a god to kill.
It's true.
And that goes through Sancta. So at some point I'm going to have to go back.
Vatericus's very special short mini series in which he goes to kill a god.
Is there anyone else you're looking to invite?
Okay, let's see. Maybe not. Got Salmi. Are we forgetting anyone?
I'm constantly forgetting everyone.
It's true.
No.
The genie. What about the genie?
Oh shit! Yeah,
Who gave me a belt
genie?
that I
What
immediately
genie?
lost?
you didn't immediately
Oh, the genie!
lose it. Yes,
You used it a few
absolutely.
times.
Invite the shit out of him.
Yeah, he fixed Morzod's brain one time.
Yeah,
That's worth an invite.
that is
Sorry,
definitely
rocks,
worth an
yeah.
invite.
He got us this sick armor.
Yep.
Yes.
Or he got me this
Oh,
sick
he's
armor.
in- you
I
that
think
sick
he
He's
armor,
in
found
my
it.
old notes. Damn.
Absolutely.
Just trying.
What did we use the third wish on? Well, it was
The
something
third,
Fixing
wish
important,
Mozart.
was, the
wasn't it?
third wish was Mozart, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
his
yeah.
name. Kazil the Honest.
I was going to
That's
say,
the one.
I remember the honest bit, but...
Zill.
yeah. Absolutely. Shit, yeah.
Okay. It took me a hot second to figure out what I wrote down in my notes here. All I have is pantomime bear, Brian. And then I realized it was a masquerade outfit and not actually a bear that pantomimes whose name is Brian.
Yeah.
Now I no longer want to invite Brian because he's not a bear who pantomimes.
He's going to be there.
And he'll already be there.
Yeah.
Maybe you can ask him to be a bear again.
You could ask him to wear the bear suit.
You can ask him to wear the bear suit. Is Brian going to be there? Why is Brian going to be there?
Because
That's
he's
Bruin
Oh,
alive.
wait. Sorry. Brian was Bruin Lark.
Bruin Lark,
Sorry, I
yeah.
straight
Yeah.
up forgot it was Bruin Lark. I just wrote Brian and I was like, who's Brian?
Who the hell's Brian?
Who the fuck is
Brian
Brian?
is a very special, all-powerful guy.
Literally
This is-
everyone from the Masquerade Ball? Are we adding all of them to the... No, I'm kidding.
This
I'm
is a
kidding.
stupid idea, and let's not. But our robot friend from the flying alien city.
Oh my
Factotum
god,
Prime.
I
Considering
never...
it.
Factotum
I was considering
Prime.
it. Yeah.
That'd be
I feel like
hilarious.
Factotum Prime might want to take the energy of the plane to use.
I
to
mean, he would be
Yeah.
very
But, like,
fascinated
not
to be like, I
maliciously.
have to catalog
Yeah.
all of this right now. We'd be like, no, man, have a
And that
margarita.
would be really cute. Yeah, that'd be really cute background. It's like a little Roomba.
I just like that was a quest we hit a hard eject from, and we've never talked about it until this moment.
Yep, let us never speak
We
about
found
it again.
Auntie and Uncle, and we were just
Yeah,
like,
we
that got
achieved what
weird.
we weren't to achieve.
Exactly.
And then
And
we
the
found
Feywilds
his
is just
lost
slowly turning into
thing.
metal. It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not our problem anymore. Yeah.
We'll kick that can down the road to the next lot of unlucky bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Whoever they may
Um,
be.
Who knows?
So,
I just have a lot of names down, and I think I'm done.
okay. Last call for invitees.
No,
Okay.
No.
I'm good.
Reading. Okay.
The sun goes down as you
Then
anxiously
comes up, and
wait
lo,
at
somebody left with the cup.
common ground, and your many of your guests join you. Some are going to be teleported or plane shifted from where they are, but the ones who are in Providence join you there at common ground.
Party bus.
Mm-hmm.
Connie is. You thought Connie was excited to go to a divine party. She is triply excited to go to a divine party with no one. This
No one's
the
gonna be there.
legendary no
Wait,
one.
have we told her that? Oh wait, no, he has rolled up because we're in Providence.
Yep.
Yep.
He rolls up
That's right. That's right.
and she's
I hope
going.
he's wearing nothing but a bow tie.
She
Yeah.
basically starts signing to the four of you. What? What?
Oh my god, we invited no one. It's crazy.
Yeah. They let us
Get a
bring
Yeah,
him.
he's-
photograph.
He's my bud.
Yeah.
I
I
think
assume he's also wearing the belt at least, right?
The
Like,
belt?
He
Yeah.
has to be.
Please.
Yeah,
And-
the belt.
Nice
We
belt.
And
recognize
Yeah.
we recognize the belt.
We recognize the belt.
Oh no.
Oh my god, he must be doing so well now that he is single and he has the magic belt, which he doesn't know is magic.
And Cass will teleport to Providence using the teleportation circle.
Oh.
So he will.
Oh yeah, we have a circle.
He will plane shift with Orsi together.
Lovely.
Arm in arm. Gorgeous.
Okay. So as the time comes,
He's a vision in silk.
you are joined by Connie and Dismina, and I think Dismina's got enough juice to plane shift all of you. She doesn't need any extra help.
We didn't ask for too many people.
Yeah, I'm not going to look up the spell and work out how many it allows. It just happens. So, there is a moment of mild nausea, and the next thing you know, you are in the Divine Sanctuary, this little pocket realm that they have created for themselves. You can see it's already starting to take on a bit more of a personality. Previously, it was sort of a table on a hill with these rough crystalline fields around, almost a blank slate. And you can see now that
Untextured objects and the occasional, two rocks next to each other that were the same rock.
You can see that biomes are now starting to form around you. And every direction you look has a different feel to it. There's something like desert sand dunes down that way. There's jungle there. There's forest. It is turning into a small but a very lush place. And of course, in the sky on one side you have the stars. On the other side you can see Valdra, the world, the planet, spread out beneath you. It is not physically beneath you. You know, it is an illusion, a projection. But and from where you are, you're looking down, you can see all the wandering isles. Every isle is spread out for you, and it is truly...
We can see our ass from here.
It is truly mind-boggling, especially for your guests, some of whom had a general idea of where they were going, but not what to expect when they got there. No one is aghast and speechless. Izud is also speechless. Zurasa is just looking around and saying, "Oh, how interesting. I wonder how they achieved this."
I love Zurasa so much. This is why we invited her.
And yes, and on your arrival, you can see that many of the other gods and your other guests are already there and waiting for you. You are greeted with cheers and drinks, especially by Bruin Luck, who is the first to charge up to you and say, "Dudes, party time!"
Yeah, Mozart, absolutely fist bump. Let's go.
Magma wants something with a cherry in it.
Please tell me Bruin Lark and our little buddy making special drinks together. Making crazy stuff.
Baldrin.
Oh, actually getting Baldrin in.
Yes, actually, that would be perfect. In fact, they will have already started. Baldrin was already there because he had to be teleported from Rivermeet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they will... so Bruin Luck will say to you, Morzod, you got to check out this guy's stuff. It's not for everyone, but dude.
Oh man! So they get over there, and Morzod is like, "Baldrin!"
He says, it's you. Are you why I'm here?
Yeah. I thought, absolutely, you got to come up. And you got to meet Bruin Luck. What do you think?
I'm still not entirely convinced that this isn't an illusion, a huge practical joke. But even if it is, I'm having fun, so I'll just go with it.
But he ain't that drunk yet.
He says,
and he swings.
I like where you're heading with that.
Yep, Mozart is just delighted by everything. He's in a happy place right now.
So Rexlin is politely... I mean, you've seen him be this big, boisterous MC at the arena. But in this context, he's politely asking, "Oh, so does anyone know... is Kim Dannon here?"
Oh my god.
He's a monk,
is he? Yeah.
No, one of them's a monk.
And Rala Swift says, "I bet he is. I'll let you know when I'm done with him.
Is he about to get what
Get
for?
him, girl.
I feel like
He's gonna get his right on
Mess
the ear.
him up,
Yeah.
honey.
she's gonna
Get
she's gonna like
him.
grab him by the ear and drag him off and be like, "Listen, you."
100%. You're getting a talking to, sir.
And you'll see Salmi is looking around, and for a moment she seems confused and lost, but then Vitericus, with your passive insight, you'll see it dawns on her. She has to find Tethoan. Tethoan won't find her.
Mm-hmm.
So she, seems to sort of say, okay, challenge accepted, and walks off.
I will catch her eye as she sort of wanders off and just mouth, invisible.
She'll say, yes, I assume as much. You all,
Also, would also like to show off Cass to Salmi because he's Tetherwind touched.
oh,
Yeah?
yes, yep.
Look at the favorite.
Other guests will include Herd and Silverfin is there as the avatar
good.
of Nessid Claythy.
Hey, buddy.
Orinala is there as the avatar of Val. Gammy, the little halfling who is the avatar of Havelnid, is there along with Havelnid. Once again, Perrin Scorchra, the Chancellor of Skaldir, is there as the guest of Derek and Dali. And Israna, the drow, the very classic drow female, is there as the guest of Tethoan, looking 100% like what you think a female drow would look like in,
She's got the bust here.
yeah. And yes, and also Yexinia de Gurith, the Dragonborn general who's the advisor to Kathleen Draconis, is back. So
Morzod is kind of looking around. Can we see Engadon?
give me a perception check. And yes, I'm asking all of you, what are you going to go off and do at this party?
And my perception check is terrible. She's gonna have to come and find me. That is like the best perception Morzod's made in a long ass time, but it's
That's
only
a
a
good
17.
one.
That is pretty
good
good.
one.
A 17, yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Dagmar rolled a 17, but she got a 21.
Given that Morzod usually rolls a 4, that is pretty epic for him.
That is good for him. He's alert.
Less than 20.
Classic 20
Orsi's
also.
not really looking for Engadon, though.
I'm keeping half an eye out, but I'm sort of making my way around and pressing the flesh more than anything else.
None of you
Morzod is specifically looking for her, but
see Engadon.
no.
She is certainly not mingling, you think, with the crowd. But the pocket plane is relatively small, but there are now definitely places that someone could hide if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she'll be out in the rose garden. I'm gonna have to go meet her by the gazebo.
Oh, you're so right.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I flipped cards for her one time and didn't know it was her, so like, I'm probably not going to find her.
Anyone.
I suspect at some point Vitericus sort of gets into performer mode and just starts telling the stories of our adventure. Particularly the last little bit in terms of like our heroic defense of common ground and the helpless souls trapped within, our rescuing of those who had become legions.
Excellent. Give me a performance check, please.
If you do not ace this, sir.
28.
28.
That's
You
good. That's pretty good.
catch everyone's attention in the best possible way. Not by being loud or annoying, but by just being enrapturing?
Engaging.
Too good to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, everybody is listening. Every single person at this party is listening. And it finishes with applause.
Nice.
And after that, after the applause, Bruin Luck then steps up onto a table, much to the horror of Fane Othwin, who has his eyes fixed on
And
Bruin,
every other
on,
elf.
on Bruin
Oh my
Lark's
God.
bare feet on this eating surface.
It's okay. It's a godly eating surface. It's fine.
And Bruin is holding up a
Cleanliness is like
glass
godliness.
and a spoon and does the whole ding, 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 and breaks the glass. But he says, all right, so thank you all for coming. All right, I don't know why they got me to be the one who does the speech, but
It's literally your job, sir.
oh yeah, I guess it is. All right, so you see, he takes out he's got notes, and he goes, all right,
Oh, bless.
all right, gentle beings all. We've not been entirely honest with you, so yeah, we're partying because the plane of repose is open for business, but that's just an excuse, really. So we're really here, and when I say we're, I mean we, I mean like gods, like me, you know, like not like you. We're here to celebrate you. So, like, we gods, we've been like, what was the term you used?
Shit.
Not that one.
Fane Othwin
Not
said,
helpful.
Fane Othwin
Obtuse.
quietly says under his
Shifty.
breath, wallowing in angst. And Bruin
That's a good one.
says, that's it, yeah.
Oh yeah, sleeping in angst.
We've been wallowing in angst, blubbering on about how much we've lost and how hard mortality is and all that. And it's not great, but you lot, especially you four, you showed us what we still have and what we can still do. Like you challenged us, you pushed us.
Annoyed the shit out of him.
You wait, and he takes out a note.
I think I technically fenced a throne.
A note card, and
But
he
okay.
says, "You shone a light on our failings, and you you spoke truth to power, and you told us what we needed to hear."
Laser beam eyes at Fane Othwin for this entire bit because I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Fane Othwin laser beam eyes
Yes.
back, and you can see his response is one of genuine, yeah, this is about us.
Mhm.
And Bruin
Dagmar's gonna wave to Fane Othwin.
and
You
Bruin
guys. Morzod is listening rapturously to Bruin Lark, okay?
Bruin Luck says, and what we needed to hear was do better, be better. So
Everyone benefits from constant criticism.
and yeah, we're trying. And it's because of you
Yes, very trying.
that we are. So, my fellow gods, the toast is. He realizes the glass is smashed, and he quickly
Morzod.
looks around.
Hence one.
Cheers. So the toast is to mortals and to these dudes in particular. Thanks for teaching these old gods some new tricks.
Yay.
And he raises.
Aw.
Everyone raises,
Yep.
and all the
Yes.
gods drink to you.
Biggest, uproarious, Morzodiest toast going on there. He is
Quite
just
good.
absolutely seventh heaven.
Dagmar suddenly regrets not inviting her dad.
And I am so pleased that Orsi invited his dad because
Yeah.
Oscar has just seen
Validation.
all of the gods drink a toast in honor of his son.
Yeah, that is pretty excellent.
And shortly
That's
after,
bragging rights at like the parents, the PTA meetings for the next 600 years.
Yeah.
and shortly afterwards, Oscar will walk up to you, Orsi, and just quietly say, "Oh, you seem to have done rather well for yourself. Keep it up."
I carved out Carved out a little niche, didn't I? Oh, Ozzy's going to give his daddy a big hug.
And he's very much kind of,
Anime hug.
Yeah. Yeah. Pat, pat.
Did Glower come?
yes. Also,
Oh,
Glower is
absolutely.
here.
100%.
I love that
I think
this is two
Orsi is-
thin men in just voluminous robes.
So
Yeah.
Two
Hugging.
ropes having a hug, and
Just
then
a
might be
gaggle.
elves
There's
under
just
there
a-
somewhere.
The gaggle of elves are all like standing near each other and just like golf clapping.
So in the Disney animated movie, well, this is happening of this. Those two hug, and then in the background, you on a tree overlooking the space, you see Glower and Glow sitting next to each other, and they both look at each other, and
Oh.
Glower head goes low and stares angrily,
Oh
and
my god.
Glow just sort of hops
She's so
over
nasty.
and does, just very gently, just sort of preens one feather on Glower's head and then pops off.
Yes, we're making progress, girls.
Oh, that's so fucking adorable.
The familiars are getting long.
As but before everyone goes back to just generally mingling, Daragandali, the dwarven god of structure and architecture that lasts, will say, I've been reminded one thing I need to one thing we want to show you lot. So word might be starting to get around down below about how souls can go to an afterlife again. So can not only confirm that yes, this is happening, but he points up and almost like just a window in the sky opens, and he says, there it is. And you can see there's just this faintly swirling, gently swirling mass of light and color. And he says, so I don't know, how would any of us know what a plane of, souls looks like? So I don't know, this might not convince you, but I assure you that's what it is. That's what we're looking at. So, that's just a window. We can't go there. Not yet, anyway. Long-term plan is to start to build a bridge between this place and that place, and maybe eventually merge them together, and those souls can stop drifting around mindlessly and actually start to enjoy the kind of afterlife we promised them several centuries ago. But it's going to take a lot of work. But I have to say, Planar Engineer it's a fun title. I was not expecting it. But any questions about how this is going to work out, especially among my fellow gods? You've all got roles to play in this, but also like you mortals, we want to be transparent from now on about how all of this works. So just come and ask me or one of the other, godly looking folk, and we'll walk you through it. All right, that's all. Back to your drinking.
Mm-hmm. I have just realized that we neglected to invite someone very, very important. Where the fuck is Bob?
Who's Bob?
The fisherman.
The fisherman from the River of Dreams and Sparkle.
Can we retcon and put him in? Because holy
Is
fuck.
Bob there
like,
anyway?
hanging
Gotta
out
find him at first, right?
between
Like the
realms?
You will,
Yeah, I don't know if he's findable.
if you
But
put him on the list, Desmina would say,
Who the fuck is Bob?
now Desmina would say, oh yes, we did meet him. I don't think he can leave.
Aww.
that was the impression I got.
I got the
Okay,
impression
fair
that if he came here, he would be so big, it would be like, I don't know, like a black hole would form or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you
okay.
know.
Black hole.
Not that you know what a black hole is.
Morzod does.
Morzod
What's
does.
a black
Morzod
hole?
does. Morzod
Morzod
does.
does.
Yes.
He knows what the fucking black hole is.
Yes, Morzod's been in space.
Is that
So, like,
some sort of spell?
If she says black, he'd be like, yeah, let's not have that happen.
Why? What is it? Is it like the dodecahedron?
A bit like that.
Okay, well, explain it to me later.
Right. And Morzod explaining a black hole is going to be great.
And then we invent gravity magic.
Okay, well, can we at least like send him a care package?
um,
Can
I
he
know
scry on
that
us?
in
And
there.
not
Can-
really.
Well, he
Yes,
said I
Graham,
was
that's
going to meet
the
him again. Oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably will. That's the mini series. Remember?
He did say it was at the end of the world,
Yeah.
and it's not quite the
Yeah.
end of the world yet. So
He was absolutely at the end of time. Oh man,
I
Connor
suspect I've
triggered
had that
me.
conversation fairly loudly within earshot of a few people with a vested interest in the world continuing at this point.
Yeah. And you.
But yeah, Vatericus does not have a long lifespan. Like, that puts
Yeah,
the
right.
end of the world within the next 40 years.
40,
Give or
that's
take.
optimistic.
Oh my god, you
I mean,
guys.
We're going to give you lots
jeez.
of vegetables.
yeah, I'm putting you on my diet, actually, Vatericus.
Oh,
my
please no, I'd
God.
rather die early.
Hey, now he doesn't deserve that.
We're going to make sure you live
All the
at
elves
least
look so
95.
sour at Morzord when he says that. With their tiny salads, eating their edible pansies.
Yeah. Look, Morzod has an enormous tankard of what even is that, so he doesn't care.
So, with the formal part of the party concluded, it is now there is now nothing left to do but mingle and party.
Oh,
We mingle and we party.
Yeah. So, what? Who do you hang out with? What does the rest of the evening look like for each of you?
Well,
I mean-
Dagmar is hanging out with no one and facilitating conversations with Connie. Dagmar is also telling no one the grand tale of the arrow named Counterspell because as
Fuck
a
that.
fellow non-magic user, she thinks he will appreciate that in a way that perhaps magic people will not.
Yeah, he loves it, and he's also very happy for you to be around because he doesn't understand common sign language, so he needs you to translate for Connie.
Yeah, she's happy to be a go-between.
God, that is so fucking cute. I can't even deal with that shit. That's so lovely. Like them actually just having a little bit of a one-on-one because they're hanging out at the God Party together.
Have a
Oh,
little chat. And later I will say hi to Faye Northwind. But I have nothing
Okay.
to say. It's just
Do
like
do I find Angedon in the Rose Garden?
Okay. After a while, if you start wandering around, you might eventually find. I'm not going to make you roll for this. You will eventually find Angadon, very quietly sitting in. Yes, let's say she is sitting in a rose garden.
Yeah, in the gazebo, the fairy lights.
Yeah.
Like roses.
And she is sitting on a bench and basically watching the illusory world of Valdra up in the sky.
Hey,
Morzod's gonna,
It's me.
arrive, set a drink down next to himself for her. It'll be the mojito mocktail that we had on the beach.
She says, I should have known one of you would find me.
I had a feeling you'd be here.
She says, Stasha said I should come, but I didn't think I should be out there for, it didn't feel right.
If you don't feel comfy, that's all right. It's just nice to see you. You doing all right? Did you find anything?
She
Out there?
says, yeah, it took me a little while. I think I know what I'm going to do now. She says, It's just a hint of a smile. She says, Dasha gave me an idea. I know we're never going to have what we had before, but she's talking to me, and that's enough. That's enough.
Morzod doesn't have a whole lot of thing to say, but he's a comforting and pleasant presence kind of thing.
Yeah. And after a long moment of comfortable silence, Engadon will say, please say thank you to Vatericus and ask him to please leave me alone.
I'll let him know. And yes, after pleasant amount of companionable time, Morzod will then drift off and leave her to her
Cool.
rumination. Oh. I'm just gonna have a little bit of sniffle here now.
Anything else?
I have two conversations I want to have as Vatericus, I guess. One of them is just finding Nested Clathy, bouncing poem ideas off her.
You.
Being like, look, I've encountered a ghost who needs to write a poem to get through to what we've now built.
Beauty.
And I would love to just bounce some ideas off you, and so we'll have like a bit of a jam session on that.
Sure.
Poetry slam session. I
She's
love that.
happy to
Love
help, and
that.
she will bring in Hurt and Silverfin to also assist.
Also, ask her if she has Detect Bird.
Yes, I will as we sort of go through. So we'll do that, and then at the end I'll be like, oh, by the way, do you have any particular connection to birds?
She'll say,
I mean, other than liking them
she'll say, well,
a lot.
I'm the goddess of birds. I'm not entirely sure what you're asking.
Great. Okay. See Trev, that cassowary over there?
Yes.
Having a good old chat to... Yeah. We're looking for his kids.
She blanches and she says, he never told me he had children.
Ah. This conversation has gone about as well as I guess it could have. Yes, so we're trying to track them down just so that he can at least know that they're okay and all that sort of thing.
Says, oh, poor Trevor. Leave it with me. I will find them, whatever it takes.
Excellent. Wonderful. We were looking, we kept an eye out ever since he told us, but we've come up empty, I'm afraid. So I figured I would let you know.
Thank you. Yes, that... Oh, dear. Yes, I will see it done.
Thank you. Cool. So that's one conversation. The other one... This one isn't so much a conversation on my way to the second thing, but sort of 1.5 is somewhere in there I'll be in conversations, like group conversations with Faye Northwin amicably. The point is not to be an asshole about everything, but just to sort of, be friendly with Faye Northwin, but not necessarily get the one-on-one that's like awkward and stilted and stuff like that. So, friendly as I sort of rotate around. The other person I'm actually looking for is Dasha.
Okay. With your conversation with Faye Northwin, you'll get the feeling that he acknowledges that the gods are far from balancing the scales of all of the harm they've inadvertently done the world, and he's not sure that it ever will be possible. But yes, he now firmly believes that his job as the god of justice is not to punish wrongs, but to right them. And he's realized there is a big difference between those two.
I guess we'll be buoyed by that.
Yeah.
Welcome to an ethical crisis, Faye Northwin.
It's
constant.
You'll find Dasha in a quieter corner of the party. Quieter, in fact, in an almost supernatural way. As you approach her, the din of the party will soften and become, so you can speak softly and still be heard. And you think she's having this presence on the space around her.
I will regulate down to a softer tone of voice and go, "That's a neat trick. I like it."
She says, "Yes, it's important, especially when Bruin Larkus is present."
Yeah, he's got a volume on him for sure. How are you doing? This has been an eventful day an eventful week, I guess, for you.
She says, "I am very, very glad we've been able to get this done." She glances up at the window to the plane of repose. She says, and again, I have to add my personal thanks to you for all you've done. For me in particular, even though at first you didn't have a choice. But nonetheless, thank you. I would not be here, and this would not have happened without you.
Well, it has been my pleasure. I'm glad to be of service. Excellent. Well, if you do need me ever, I guess I am still technically your champion, so let me know. But I promise I'll try not to make too much noise in the meantime.
She says, I had something, but I think I've promised it to Engadon.
Interesting.
She says, I'll be in touch if that doesn't work out, okay?
Okay. Well, one of the benefits, I guess, of being head of the Plane of Repose is that you can catch me even after all of my other obligations have been met. So, hit me up whenever.
She says, what an interesting thought. Very well.
And I guess kind of like Morzod and Engi, a little bit of companionable silence, but I will leave her to it.
Cool.
After not terribly long.
Anything else?
I mean, it's time for
Does
cake
Dagmar
stands.
have anything? I can.
Actually, Dagmar, you will be approached by Derrigan Darley. And he will say, so, I don't know what you've got planned after all this, but I could use a bodyguard.
She has proven herself pretty
She's good at that.
effective.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
well, what exactly would that job entail? So I do have some plans that I was actually hoping I could use you for.
He says, oh, I wouldn't necessarily need you to live in Skaldir, but I need you to, when I'm walking, when I'm not safe in the palace, it'd be good to have someone I can trust and who knows who I really am to keep an eye on my back. Someone of your special skills, I think.
I thought you were going to say stature, but that's better.
I was thinking caliber.
He says, and yes, you will be paid.
Could
He just said the magic words.
Magic words.
Firstly, respect for him as an employer, potentially. Gone up.
Just dwarfy things.
Dagmar does have 2 requests that she would like to negotiate into this very appealing job proposal.
Mm-hmm.
He'd probably find that endearing. He'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
This is
So
like
we're
full-on
talking-
dwarf business right now. Yeah.
We've sat down. There are beers involved. There's a lot of strong eye contact.
Yeah.
Firstly, I'm going to need help building something with a very strong foundation.
He says,
And it's going to be amazing.
he says, okay, let's just be clear. We're talking something, are we talking about something crazy like this planar engineering thing? Because I'm still getting the hang of this. Or are we talking just
Crazy. It's going to have a very strong base already included. So we're really just building on top of a floating disc.
so like some kind of floating tower, maybe?
Power. Yeah.
This is
Terraka
like
walks past the table. Although if you could fit an extra planar pocket dimension in there.
it's like this is like a hobbyist thing. You're asking him to build a model railway, and I bet he's thrilled.
And he says,
Yeah, but it's a little hobby. This is a little side project. I would like to create an architectural wonder for a friend who I know is big dreams and not great on the ground gumption.
And not an engineer.
he says, well, I think it would be a bit weird if the King of Skaldu just popped over to, erect a tower, but I know some people, and I might be able to disguise myself once or twice.
Man's got a lot of chippies on the on the register.
Excellent,
On the
accepted. And my second request is, if it is within your scope as a god to beam that speech that Bruin Luck did, where he was toasting me and my friends, if you could just sort of give that as a vision to every one of my relatives at some point, possibly recurring.
Hang on, who's in charge of dreams? Get them a recurring dream.
He says, it's not my department, but I love it. I'll talk around and make sure it happens.
Then you have a bodyguard, my good god.
I love that.
Dagmar will do a shake.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That was the most beautiful dwarven
Yeah, I mean, grudges.
agreement
That is so
of
dwarfy.
contracts.
We rise
was
above
beautiful.
by digging in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Oh my god.
Rise above by digging in.
Book of Grudges. I think I just contracted a centimeter just thinking about how dwarfy that was.
I think
I love my
that's the
people.
new family slogan for your family.
The deep
The
delver
Deep Delver? Yeah, that's going to be the
Yeah.
Deep Delver sigil.
motto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just crossed
Yep.
shovels.
It's like, yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. I love this for us.
That's so good.
I think Orsi is definitely showing like every elf he invited around, like he's walking around and being like, and this is this, and this is this biome. The extra plane was my idea. Yes, Pella, it was.
Yeah. The
And they're all just golf clapping, I assume, and going, oh, wow.
yeah, the elders of Kai Withel are still a bit gobsmacked. Even Pellar is now in a state of, I know these people.
Well, yeah, he's doing the elf thing. I thought he was going to go, oh shit, I tried to implicate these guys.
Is changing his tune to I know these people by name. I've met them, and they're
I
on-
arrested them
I
before
know
they
a
were
guy.
cool.
Yeah.
Please, we have been
I love
arrested
that.
before then.
That's all I needed. I think he will leave his little posse. He does want to go see Gamdown if he's around. Is
yes.
he getting his ears?
Yeah, is Rala still there?
judged? Is he getting told off?
He is. Rala is tearing into him. And as you approach,
Go. I'm
approach,
so sorry to interrupt.
Rala sees you coming, and she says to him, so, you've got until the end of this party to decide. And she walks past you, Orsi, and says, good luck.
Was that an ultimatum?
Nice.
I see the lid has been loosened on the jar, so to speak.
Who's
Hello,
that to?
Gamdanen. Oh.
Yep.
He just said that out loud enough that Gamdanen heard him.
And says, what can I do for you?
Nothing. And that's what I came here to talk to you about.
Let's hear it.
I realize now I had some weird father issues going on. I sort of blamed you. Okay, that was rude. I did sort of blame you for hitting me with lightning. I realized it wasn't your fault. Maybe I shouldn't have been standing on the roof in a lightning storm holding a bottle of light. But, I mean, really, I realized that everything I've been asking you to do or any of the other gods to do, we ended up doing it ourselves. I did it. I called down meteors, I called down lightning, and I'm making a floating tower. And it'll be floating so high, it'll be floating above your stupid little mountain. So there.
It won't be that.
He doesn't know that. Don't burst his bubble.
It's going to be a long pause.
Dagmar's in the background drawing up schematics.
A long pause as he stares at you dumbfounded, and then he says, You're right. Right. Rala! And he goes off looking for Rala Swift.
Horsey will stick his nose in the air and go back to his little elf posse.
And so I don't think there's any way for your characters to actually overhear what happens next, but Rala will probably explain it later. She did give...
I think if I see Gemdanen moving with purpose, I'm going to sort of float around the social circles until I'm in earshot range.
Yep.
There are so many elves and also Vatericus here. They are all going to be listening.
Yeah, basically, you're going to learn that Rala basically walked up to Gemdanen and said, look, if you're not going to give me anything other than your powers, if you're not going to talk to me, if you're not going to answer my questions, if you're not going to help me, what is the point in me being your avatar? And Gemdanen basically says, I didn't have to do this for you. I didn't have to, this is a gift. And rather saying, well, I think you want me to be the one who gives you a good reputation. And because, you don't talk to anyone, you want me to be the one who makes you look good. So I'm not going to do that for you anymore, unless you start talking to me. And that was the ultimatum. And
he's just realised he doesn't have a backup because he thinks that he's a dickhead.
And
yeah,
so
you fucked, mate.
Gemdanen finds Rala Swift and basically says to her, You're right. And the reason I didn't talk to you about the primordial is I was fucking scared.
I'm just imagining this coming out of Jason Momoa's mouth, and I'm feeling a little bit hot and bothered, actually.
It says, I do need you to do what I'm too scared to do. And I will, you have my word, I will be there in the future when you need me. I'm sorry I haven't been so far.
I haven't been the best dad.
And Rala says, all right, I'll give you another chance. And that's the end of that conversation.
We had emotional growth.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love to see it.
Anything else, or shall we go to a break?
I think we're good. We're good.
I think I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, did Salmi ever find Tetherwin?
Yes.
Yes, we need closure on that.
I'm just curious. I love
So,
Salmi. She's OG. She hit us with some fireballs, but she came through at the end.
Actually, I will get perception checks to see who notices this.
Also, is Cass being adored by Tetherwin? I would also like to ask that question.
28.
17. Too busy listening in on the
Perception?
Gemdanen drama.
Ooh, 21.
Oh, sorry, are we perceiving?
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
for...
Yes. Was
Salmi.
And
so
that's Morzod's
Morzod of
roll.
you.
It was.
Beautiful.
Well, I just rolled a 19, so, like,
Ooh.
Okay. Sadly,
I
only
can see her from my keg stand.
Dagmar and Orsi will notice this.
Good.
Good that Orsi saw it. You will see Cass speaking to Salmi and the drow. The drow woman.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that they've actually left a spot as though there's a fourth person there with them in this conversation. And
Beautiful.
for just the briefest moment, the drow, their appearance changes. Their face becomes that of a non-binary, pale-faced individual, a changeling, if you will. For a moment, as they seem to be taking a moment of, this is my true face, and then returning to the guise of the drow. And that is now all of our other characters accounted for in this campaign.
Wow.
Excellent.
Secrets.
The Cleric of Tethoan.
Nice.
And
Love it.
so with that, I think we are going to take a short break. Then we will wrap up with an epilogue. Unless any of you think of any last minute things you want to do with your characters.
No, man, just keep
Keeping in mind, I'm hoping that we will revisit them in the future for one-shots or mini-series. Okay. We are taking a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. Bye. are back. And it's time to finish this. So, our heroes have been honoured at a party. Not quite a surprise party. They knew about the party and they were invited to it. It was a surprise to learn that the party was actually in their honour and not just a celebration of events that had transpired. And eventually, of course, the party will wind down. People will slowly return to their points of origin. And our heroes will go home. I think realizing, if they hadn't before, that they've had a significant impact on the history of the world at this point. Probably for the better. Hopefully for the better. Who knows? I would like to give each of your characters a moment of what do they just do the next day? Sort of an image, a vignette to leave us on as the camera starts to pull back and a narrator comes in to conclude the story.
I mean, what time of day?
Any time.
Sleep.
What's the lighting like?
Yeah, anytime.
Because like until about 3 in the afternoon, probably Morzod is pretty comatose, sprawled comfortably with Barry on his chest.
In the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. Just somewhere kind of massive zonk because he gave it his everything as the champion of Brulark. He had a party. He had a job at that party, and he absolutely gave it 300 Morzodi%. So yeah, he's in recovery, but gloriously so.
We took his shoes off for him.
We
Yeah,
did take his shoes
fine.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, that would be a very sweet, caring moment if he did legit pass out and you guys took his shoes off for him. So sweet.
Little blanket. Dagmar will just be carving a new set of blocks into using her advanced skills to carve a quite detailed little figurine of each of her buds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Orsi is probably on promenade with Cass somewhere, just walking around the town, chatting, parasol out.
I suspect Vatericus is also out on the promenade, given that that's the section of the town that he represents.
Possibly not with
Checking
the
in
parasol,
with-
though.
Not with the parasol, no. I suspect I'm walking a different section of the promenade. Chatting with people, making sure that their needs are met. Wondering if any of them had nightmares about their houses suddenly animating and crushing monsters in the night
Is that nightmares or is that awesome?
a week or so ago. Well, I mean, if you're in it, it's potentially a little terrifying.
I suppose.
Intrusive thoughts.
Doesn't that
Yeah.
make it like a mecha sort of thing, though? Like, we absolutely gun down.
Last week, we dreamed our duplex came to life and punched Janolton King in the head.
That's going to be some little kid, hey, with like a drawing and show and tell. Last night I had a dream. It's going to be great.
And now, an epilogue. So, Common Ground grew up from an orphanage into the first fully realised public school in Valdra. So high was the quality of education that even the wealthiest and most privileged of families started sending their children to learn at Common Ground instead of relying on private tuition. The result was the city's richest rubbing shoulders with orphans and beggars at an early age, and nothing could have made Desmina, the god of equality, happier. The maps of Providence still show the Temple of Desmina as a marble building on the highest point of the city, but those who know her know that Common Ground is where it's truly at. Contemplation, the mute tiefling known as Connie. She knew that Desmina would eventually want her to take over management of the orphanage, but wanderlust crept up upon her. Desmina tried to persuade her avatar to stay in Providence, but Connie, after a few years after the Divine Party, she left to explore the world around her. Dusha and Drake would visit her regularly on her journeys and sometimes even walk with her as she moved from one town to another. In Providence, Queen Aneth's frigate was careened, refitted, and renamed Hope. It began its service as a training vessel, but after several months was deemed fully crewed and fit for service. Together, Hope and Rala's frigate, Retribution, would take turns travelling the Wandering Isles, trading, exploring, and guaranteeing the safety of Providence. The good sloop Layla was not renamed. She continued to be Layla and became a coastal gunboat, patrolling the waters near Providence. The town, once known as Golden Ford or Opportunity, was never rebuilt. 2 massacres in less than 1 year was enough to convince people that the site was probably cursed, to the extent that a new road appeared as traders deliberately avoided passing through the town. Its charred remains remain untouched, slowly being eroded by wind, rain, sand, and sea. It took years for the Oceanic Trading Company to recover from the loss of Titan's Rest, and it never managed to fully regain its monopoly on trade in the region. Without a port of its own to operate from, the company was dependent on cooperation with Providence, Heron's Perch, and Evernight, and had no choice but to pay the appropriate tariffs. The liberation of Mercer's Pass, however, would prove to be a boon for the company, as traffic to Lake Keldrith and beyond would increase markedly over the next few years. Because about a year after the God Touch slew the Red Dragon Carahoch, the Dreaded, the floating citadel of Kaiwathel came crashing down to ground at last. The elves, however, were prepared for this, having anticipated it for decades, and no lives were lost. They immediately began salvaging what stonework they could and set about rebuilding the citadel on the shore of Lake Keldrith, in cooperation with the local villagers who were invited to live with the elves in what had soon become celebrated as the most picturesque settlement in all of the Wandering Isles. The mystery of how the citadel hovered in the air for so long and why it eventually fell was never unravelled. However, local fishermen reported seeing large bubbles moments before it happened breaking the surface of Lake Keldrith, as if an underwater chamber had suddenly collapsed. The ascendancy of Tarth publicly lambasted the late Cova Fen as a rogue element that had squandered national resources on an ill-advised invasion of Providence, motivated by petty greed and vengeance. Her inglorious death in Heron's Perch was described as entirely fitting. The ascendancy continues to make overtures of friendship towards Providence, but the council and the people of the free city reject them every time. Back in Tal-Ras, on the far side of the world, in the capital of the kingdom of Tal-Ras, rumours begin of a falling out between King Berold Ras VI and the Marquis Indris Nahama. While it's believed to be related to Princess Imrana's brief stint as self-imposed governor of Heron's Perch, the details are elusive and theories abound. Tensions escalate when Crown Princess Tola Ras III gives a speech railing against the excesses of the noble and ruling classes, including members of her own family. On the eve of a meeting of King and Parliament to address these and other indiscretions, King Berold Ras VI is found dead in his bedchamber. Against all tradition and propriety, Queen Elashta abdicates in favour of Prince Mahema, second in line to the throne, passing over Princess Tola. There is protesting in the streets as Princess Tola is very popular. When the protests turn violent, a newly crowned King Mahema orders troops into the capital to quell them. What follows is a civil war that will have repercussions across all of Valdra, but that's a story for another campaign. Meanwhile, an ancient folktale forgotten by many sees new life as stories of the nightingale start to circulate once more. Stories of people, often children, lost in forests or on moors or on sand dunes, hearing and following a mysterious voice to a place of safety and comfort. Some claim to have seen the source of the voice, a tall, fair-skinned, dark-haired woman. As for the God Touched themselves, this is far from the end of their adventures. They continued to be heroes, explorers, investigators, and agitators, but the run of misfortunes that had brought and kept them together had finally relented, and each found more time to pursue individual interests both within and outside of Providence. They never forgot the new family they had forged, and reunions were frequent, sometimes to socialize, sometimes to fight evil, and sometimes to check on the gods and continue to keep them accountable, but most importantly, to tease Vatericus about how much older he was looking. And that is the end of this particular story.
Nice.
So thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to my players. It has been great fun. I've never concluded a campaign in D&D before, so this has been quite an experience. Now, this is not the end of AntipoDnD. There will be a campaign 2. We're hoping it'll kick off in September sometime. I'm still working on it, but the players already have their characters all worked out. April is already deep
building
into...
us a boat.
Yeah, April is doing some amazing character art. I'm building a boat for them to sail around on. It's going to be set...
It is a whole ass fucking boat.
It's a real boat.
Whole boat.
I am learning about ropes. It is going to be...
So are we.
It's going to be set 5 years after the events of this campaign, and it will still be set in the Wandering Isles. So there's that.
Before we go, I have a little something in the art channel, in the AD&D art channel. Maybe you can put it up if you want, Dungeon Master.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh.
Yes, I will.
Holy shit.
I love it.
Yep,
That
that's
is
adorable.
gorgeous. Thank you.
Yep.
I opened up the wrong art channel and saw my bear, and I was like, "Thanks, guys."
Yes.
I didn't plan anything, but I'm just gonna run at the mouth a little bit because holy shit, thank you, David. Because
Oh my gosh,
like
of course.
I'm gonna get all misty here, but seriously, he rolled up and he's like, "Hey, I want to get some Australians together for some D&D." And I was like, "Oh no, I don't think you want me. I mean, I haven't really done a D&D before." And like, he just come out of nowhere because we knew each other on a tweet space. But like, I said, "Yeah," and all of this, and it's been amazing. And it's all because you decided to pull us together for a bit of D&D. And holy shit, I am so grateful.
And I cannot say how happy and grateful I am that you said yes. And that goes for all of you.
Yeah, that was a great random message to get.
Yeah,
It was.
like,
Really.
Oh my
crap.
goodness.
We've been pulled together from other ends of the internet and made something beautiful. Also, our characters were legendary, but we have also become legendary because we just finished a campaign. My God.
We did it.
Not many
Nearly
people
3
get to
years,
say that.
right?
A campaign we played regularly.
Yes.
Mhm.
We were not defeated by the
Exactly.
Tarrasque of turntables.
Yeah, I made it.
Or
I made it
continents.
when we
Oh.
began. I made it clear to the players, and the players agreed that this would be a weekly thing, and that we made sure that we're all people in a position where we could do that. And I think that's been huge for all of us to be able to make that commitment and to stick for it and to.
I gotta
stick
say,
to
I
it.
committed hard. It's to the point where my parents are like, "We're coming over." I'm like, "No,
Oh wow!
I got AD&D. This is my parents driving up 4 hours to get to where I am. They're like, "Hey, so we're dropping in." I'm like, "Nah, tomorrow, not tonight."
Reassess.
I'm sorry, Cindy's parents.
This is great. Morzad, no parental issues at all. Zindi, They are
Listen,
parents.
my parents are also wonderful
beloved
people.
parents.
They are wonderful, wonderful people, and they understood.
We love
I
that.
love
But
this.
yeah, no, I committed hard, and I have no regrets. Amazing. You're all excellent. You're great.
We also played this through like so many different individual lockdowns. But we
Yeah,
can
we
go
did.
into that in the debrief.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot
lockdown.
about that.
Lockdown was, partly why I got it started. So going, actually, this is going to be a time where a lot of people are going to be very bored, and needs something to do from home.
Just knocking on the door. Can I interest you in some Dungeons and Dragons?
And also
Best decision of my life. I tell you
getting
what.
fast internet was probably the biggest thing for me to kicking this off. This would not have been possible on my old ADSL 2. Just couldn't get the video working.
Just Australia things.
Yeah. But to finally have NBN initially to the curb and now to the premises, that fiber to the premises, that is,
That's what it means. That's what it means. We're all just going to have a moment.
Yeah.
God bless the internet.
And April, thank you so much for sticking with us despite moving to the far side of the world.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And I will do it for another 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Campaign 2.
Can't get rid of me.
And thank you for anyone at your workplace who's had to endure zombie April. Less of an issue now
Look,
that
I'm
we're...
sure she is perfectly delightful when she's a zombie.
Yeah.
I put so much makeup on, they can't tell I'm tired. But ever since we moved to Friday, it doesn't matter because it's the weekend tomorrow. Do what I want. So, yes, thank you also, everyone, for moving the game a day for me. I appreciate it greatly.
Yep.
I mean, it's just exciting to have plans on a Friday night now, to be honest.
So,
An excuse.
speaking of nights, next week we will not be meeting. I actually have something else on, which I didn't plan to happen immediately after the end of this
The stars
campaign.
have just kind of aligned.
It's just very convenient,
work.
and it isn't just Baldur's Gate. It is actually something else. But I will also be
But it
playing.
is also Baldur's
But
It is also
Baldur's
Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, we are currently thinking we'll probably do a sort of just a casual, almost a fireside chat to get together, talk about the campaign, talk about our characters, ask each other questions, just to wrap things up and reflect on how it's been. Maybe talk a bit more about our plans for campaign 2. Then after that, we hope to have maybe a one-shot or two, maybe a mini-series. I'm inviting players for ideas. I might have one or two also, but we'll see. But the long-term goal is for campaign 2 to pick up in September. And it will be, although it will obviously reference events of campaign 1, it will be standalone. So you will be able to say to people, hey, you should watch AntipoDnD, start with this new campaign. You don't need
what order do you watch the seasons in?
Yeah, you don't need to necessarily need to go back and watch over 100 episodes. I understand that
The
can be
two who
intimidating.
didn't know how to play D&D sort of know how to play D&D now.
Speak for yourself.
I'm
So-
about to play a fucking warlock. I
No
don't
idea.
know.
Still no idea.
Magic is not that hard once you get used
No,
to it.
you're all right.
Yeah,
Feels like a
just a
lot.
tease of campaign 2. We are looking at Team Monster. It is there is not a regular humanoid among them. It's going to be fun. So unless any of you have anything else to say,
No,
it's time to
just
finish
thrilled
up.
to have been here.
Yeah, just thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
So
Thank you very
yep.
much.
thank you for watching. We will see you in a couple of weeks, and after that, off and on until September, when we will be a weekly D&D show again. Bye.